Okay, 1, 2, 3, action. What is up guys, Fahan here with Za once again. And today we're discussing about some things that's happening these past few weeks, which is, I would call it the death of motorcycle culture in Singapore lah. Yes. The death, literally the death. Okay, so we're not like 333, we're not going to smash any helmets or whatsoever.
Yeah, because we don't have any sponsors.
Based on what is happening right now in social media especially, there's been a lot of hullabaloo about certain rules and regulations that the government or the authorities that we call it have come up with.
Regulate motorcycle ownership and safety standards.
Safety standards lah. This news actually came as a surprise to the motorbike community. And
it's a shocking news.
It's a shocking news actually because we were not consulted at all.
Yeah, I mean for all these years, for so many years,
yes.
Why now?
Why now? Why now? So I think it's all the Karens that have been writing in to the government to do something about this.
Maybe some political factors.
Perhaps. So owning a motorcycle in Singapore is already very rigid enough. Yes. As you guys can know, because I think bikes more than 3 years old need to go for inspection every single year.
And then you cannot do any modification that is not legal.
Yes, correct. So they really inspect your bike, make sure everything is basically stock or approved. Even you want to do modification also, must be approved. Like you want to change to Accra exhaust, so you must book an inspection date.
And then you have to have a certificate after that.
It's very, how to say, rigid lah. I think Singapore is one of the few countries that has it.
Yes.
Because I asked my Malaysian friends, and then when you know we talk about the bikes and all that, they basically really every year must go inspection one.
Yeah, because in Malaysia you don't have to go for annual inspection. You only go for inspection if the bike has not been renewed the road tax and insurance for more than a year. So let's say after the expiry date of the insurance and road tax, within 1 year, if you renew it within that 1 year, no need to go for inspection. But after 1 year, for that you need to go for inspection.
Or unless you get caught at a JPJ roadblock lah. JPJ. Sorry. For us in Singapore, they have also been stepping up on enforcement. Recently, I think there's a joint operation with traffic police and LTA. The spot checking.
Spot check and then catching those vehicles with illegal modifications and stuff.
And they tahan everyone. Everyone know, even your bike looks stock, they still tahan and do a check. This is honestly a waste of time, a waste of resources. I mean our officers could be better deployed to expressways or to spread road safety messages. That's what I personally feel rather than catching all of these modifications.
But these people who do this modification are the same people who endanger the lives of other road users. In my personal observation
I see.
You've seen these sleeper cars, modified cars, racing on the roads.
Yes, correct.
Even the motorcyclists also are not spared. Those modified bikes to the point that it's like irritatingly loud and dangerous.
So for us in this video, in this vlogcast, we'll try to look at it at a neutral point of view. We won't at the internet, people all open arms, condemning, expressing their frustration and feedback. Okay, so I think we have typed out a list here, and personally, I think in the long run, it may diminish motorcycle culture as whole. Hence the title, the death of motorcycle culture in Singapore. So in the long run, it may be quite difficult to own a motorcycle.
Because of the rules and regulation, the current tax system makes ownership of a motorcycle more expensive.
Yes.
And then there are certain modifications that are restricted.
Yes.
Right, you cannot do any modification. Customize your bike in a way that maybe a slight change in the headlight will deem it illegal. Even though that headlight probably will enhance the safetiness of the bike.
I was intrigued about this LED thing. If the bike is not fitted with LED lighting, you're not allowed to put LED. I'm like, even though the light is not that bright.
Okay, if that feature enhances safety, why can't we keep it, right?
according to them must be weekly stock lah. And yeah, the final point is that expensive helmets such as RI, Shoei, which cost more than the PSB approved helmet surprisingly are illegal to own because they're not locally tested. What we gather is that these bike shops, when they bring in the helmets, they do not send it for local testing. Because it adds to the costs.
Yeah, because you have to pay for that. For them, if they send a $50 helmet for motorcycle testing, they have to send like a batch of like 20 helmets, right? That's like $50 a helmet.
And this is batch by batch, not like one type of helmet you send. Okay,
only one helmet you send. No,
you send one. You send 2 or 3.
You send like a whole batch of like 20 helmets for testing. For example 20 helmets. So if the helmet is $50, that's like what, $100?
So you can imagine the helmets cost 1,000.
50 times 10.
50 times 10 is, oh my god, my calculator.
500
plus.
500
Don't forget that there's also testing fees and all that. You know, we're not sure how much the testing actually costs.
So maybe like, okay, you just sacrifice $1,000 worth of helmets for testing. For these helmets, the expensive one, the like 1,000 plus dollars.
Oh my gosh,
$1,000 a helmet. If you are going to send a batch of 20, that's $20,000. You know,
crazy.
$20,000 worth of stock that you have to like sacrifice.
And usually those expensive helmets, they are bought by people who really can afford them or their hobbyists.
And these helmets are like
super expensive.
Yeah.
At least 1K and above. It's like, oh my gosh.
I know people who actually buy this kind of helmet. You know, I was like,
why? But then you love it, what? But then they love it, so
okay lah, I mean, it's their money lah.
For me personally, I've never bought a non-PSB approved helmet before, so I wouldn't know what it's like. But from what I gather out there, really not much enforcement taken for this thing lah. But with this new law, I think the enforcement will be stepped up slightly lah.
I think.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think LTA.
Oh, by the way, it's under traffic police. Okay, LTA, yeah.
I do not know about whether the traffic police will actually like stop each individual motorcyclist, check on their helmets only.
I think it's hassle.
I mean, okay, if the black visor, I mean the tinted visor, that is obvious lah. That is so obvious. You mean you any Tom, Dick and Harry can see that okay, this is an offence lah. But
PSP is so small,
so these officers are really trained to actually spot. Okay, this helmet is RI. Okay, stop him. Sure, no PSP.
Oh, they selectively target. Oh my gosh. Alamak, macam racist like that. Francis. Okay, so we have did our research lah. We have deduced these 3 major factors lah. That is a fact that will probably cause the death of the motorcycle culture in Singapore lah. The first one is motorcycle COE prices skyrocketing to 8K. The record
it has
been 8K before lah.
Been 8K before.
I see, but in these times,
at this time of economic
downturn with COVID-19,
yes,
people are losing their jobs and all that. And surprisingly, the COE keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad, because can you imagine people who actually rely on motorbikes as their source of income?
Let's not look at the food delivery riders.
Okay.
The young ones especially. Let's look at the uncle, the dispatch.
That's what I'm talking. The senior riders,
the veteran riders.
The uncle, api-api.
The one that deliver your newspaper. Surat khabar. English, Channel 5.
The one that delivers your newspaper, all these it's sad to them because motorbike prices are getting more expensive. If they need to renew for their work, I mean, they're not earning much. Yet, they have to fork out a lot of money just to continue.
Oh my gosh, just continue COE,
just to continue COE. Imagine those uncle selling ice cream
that's right.
on a motorbike, right?
Correct.
Sales may be not good in this kind of environment, and then with the bike prices getting higher, COE prices getting higher, if they need to renew
the COE, so don't got me thinking it's actually not worth to get a class 2B bike at all, because I can imagine, currently ADV 150, 15,950. Crazy, oh my gosh. Even the cheapest one, the PCX, also 13K. The cheapest 2B scooter, brand new, 13K.
long time ago, right? I was shopping for new motorbike lah. I think before even I got my tourism, I was looking for bikes, and then scooters. I was looking at automatic scooters. It's like 13,000, 14,000. I was like, why is so expensive, yeah? And then I want to buy a.
That time COE how much?
Around that price
7,000 Oh, I see.
7,000 plus.
Yeah, and then because of this it has resulted in increases in the second-hand market as well. In fact, I got my bike, I paid full cash, left 4 years COE, 7k plus, which is kind of expensive actually.
Yeah lah, and then considering that you want to, okay, for people like me, I don't like to change bike often.
Yeah.
I like to keep my bike, and if that bike still can service me properly, right, I would like to continue, for another 10 years.
So imagine after 10 years, you pay 8k.
Yeah, it's like I buy a brand new bike.
That's why most riders, they rather buy a brand new bike. But then it's ridiculous. So I think people they actually take loans, just to service the COE.
Yalah, gone were the days where you can just make a $500 down payment and get an affecte,
They now got 0% of payment, but then again, you have to consider the monthly. So don't be tricked by those 0% down payment. But right now, I think the bike shops, they're trying to use this tactic to get people to buy bikes, but it's not really working, I think.
Yeah.
But people still do buy bikes.
Yeah, still have to lah. I mean, looking at this kind of options, right? I think some of the financing method that we have discussed earlier is very attractive,
Yes.
Like for example, like lease to own. Although you have to be paying a little bit more per month, but considering that everything else is being taken care of, your maintenance, your accident claims.
There's a pros and cons to each his own And then final point is that effectively motorbikes will be out of reach to some riders It may be a luxury similar to cars
Yeah, true lah. I mean, only rich people can buy motorbike. Everybody else rides a bicycle.
Oh my gosh. Even bicycle also now they want to regulate.
Alamak. I mean, okay. Talking about bicycles, right? I agree to a certain extent. Especially those
errand riders
errand riders who like hog the road,
and then beat the red light and all that.
And the shit part is, these are the same people who actually drives and then ride motorbike, and then you're being a dick on the road.
Okay, so the second factor is the NEA to lower vehicle noise and tighten motorbike emissions from 2023 So a bit of background about this So NEA will adopt the latest United Nations noise standards for vehicles and aftermarket exhaust systems, and motorbikes are to conform to 77 decibels, equivalent to the noise of a normal conversation right now.
Sure not? Okay, this is our conversation right
now, 64 to 69 decibels.
For those who actually take out the
silencer,
and then make it as loud as possible, that is irritating. That is
irritating. I mean, even us as riders also like how to say 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, you're trying to sleep.
Okay lah, I mean, okay, for bikes like RXZ, the kong the exhaust makes it like so
power
But
and then at night please don't do this kind of thing at night You see, not only that, your supermarket seriously,
the government have to
come out with rules
and regulations just to clamp down on motorbike in the community.
Just to let you guys know, the deadline is by April 2023. So this will be in line with those bikes they are eligible for the NEA rebate to be off the road basically. Like all those legendary bikes will be gone either gone or become classic plate so you won't see them anymore.
It will be sad to see these bikes older bikes to be off from
I mean, these older bikes are innocent they are just made at that time and they just naturally emit those kind of noise and emissions so it's like a pity these owners don't even know anything, and suddenly you come out with this law. It's like
talking about emissions, and they want to control emission standards, right? The government wants to demonize the older motorbikes, two-strokes as a major source of pollution,
Yes.
But in my personal opinion, the major source of pollution is not from motorbikes. It's from a rapid urban development. You know how much carbon footprint is being emitted just by producing cement only.
Oh really?
Yeah. And cement actually contributes to 8% of the CO2 emissions. If cement industry is a country, it will be the third biggest after US and China.
I think the government should consider other factors other than pinpointing at us motorcyclists lah, you know.
I mean, as a political tool, these are the small categories. It's easy to eliminate. Okay.
Anyway, their votes won't affect so much. So yeah, in the end, they'll gain more votes from the people who basically complain lah. Maybe could be.
Maybe.
We're not sure.
Or maybe come election, they will
reverse
U-turn and then say, okay, we will loosen the motorcycle regulation. So
okay. So next point, most aftermarket exhausts such as Akrapovic, SC Project, Yoshimura will be effectively illegal by 2023 maybe.
Salah, Yoshimura.
I can imagine Jensen Yoshi mahal pipe you have to sacrifice it.
Salah, one pipe is like so 1,000 plus.
1,000 plus, sial. If you already install on the bike, will it be illegal or not? That is the question.
Then how like that?
So don't know. Ask Akong later inspection, see pass or fail or not lah. You give them certificate. I think they also deter. This one no more already. 2023 already. No more already. You have to remove. Well, with the exhaust restriction in place, there will be increased pressure in the system lah, basically. So this keeps gases trapped inside the engine combustion chambers, and it may result in the loss of engine performance and fuel economy lah. This is from Wikipedia.
from the LTA point of view, right? That's why we have it stock.
To illustrate that, manufacturers may need to adjust accordingly. So newer bikes may lack performance, and this is similar to when Euro 5 was introduced. The new Hayabusa, right? Is Euro 5 compliant, but many riders in Europe, they are complaining whereby the Euro 5 compliant Hayabusa, which is the 2021 model, is not as fast as the previous generations. Because they had to comply to Euro 5. So definitely the performance, they have to take it out lah.
That's why Yamaha VMAX refuse to comply because
they end production totally.
So that's why Yamaha stop production of VMAX because they don't want to comply with the Euro 5 because they want to keep the engine as powerful as possible, you know.
I think for Suzuki's case, they don't care lah. As long as I make money, because Hayabusa is already a name. That's why they don't mind coming out with a 2021 model that is Euro 5 compliant but lacks the performance. Because I know that people are gonna buy the Hayabusa because of the name.
Hayabusa punya motor. Looking at this kind of situation, right, it seems like the government wants to encourage people to go green.
Go green lah.
Like taking public transport, or maybe electric vehicles. But then it's ridiculous that in the European countries, the governments are giving rebates for switching to electric vehicles.
But yet we get nothing in return.
But in Singapore, you are being taxed more for trying to own an electric vehicle, Tesla. Salah, owning a Tesla is much more expensive than owning a...
No, I think there are rebates, but it's just a bit only. Not so much lah. And then for us motorcycle riders, the NEA rebate isn't that enough lah.
Yeah, 2005. 2005. I mean, you can use this for down payment of your new motorbike.
But new motorbike, 8K COE, how much really? You want to get PCX also cannot get lah. The worst scooter you can get a Honda PCX. No, I wouldn't say bad lah. It's one of the more economical. Sorry let me rephrase that. Economical scooters. It's not a bad scooter. All bikes are good. So we have come to the third factor, which is stricter penalties for wearing non-approved helmet. So a bit of background about this. This is part of the Road Traffic Amendment Bill introduced on April 5th to Parliament. This is basically to reinforce that only PSP-approved helmets can be worn or sold. So this law has been in existence for a long time, but it's not strictly enforced from what I've experienced and seen on the ground especially. Because I've never ever heard people kena saman for not riding a non-approved PSP helmet.
I mean, for all these years, why now?
Why now? Why? That's the question we want to ask.
PSP has been introduced for so long, and then why now you decided to let's give more stiffer penalties for people who wearing non-compliant helmets.
And they may step up enforcement also.
I mean, why now, sir?
I mean, the only enforcement I can think of is that you're not allowed to wear a non-PSB approved helmet in driving school lah.
If you buy those helmet online from China, those helmet with lousy QC, yes, I agree.
I agree, yeah.
But if you are wearing a helmet that is premium helmet, you know,
$1,000
a $1,000 helmet,
and recognized by the US Department of Transportation and the UK British Standards Association.
These helmets have been through rigorous testing, you know, by the manufacturer themselves, in compliance with international standards. So even these helmets are being used in motor racing. Why is it not approved?
That's why.
Why is it illegal? Why?
Why? So PSB means good lah. Just like what you say lah, all schools are good schools lah. So they're trying to force it on us, you know, that PSB is good. I find it ridiculous that, you know, a crappy KISS helmet is PSB approved, while
it's much safer. It's so-called
deemed
safer
than a $1,000 helmet, which is certified by DOT and the
ECE.
you know Joel actually bent his presentation at us also lah. He uses a Bell helmet. Bell is a US company lah, and it's also used in NASCAR racing, you know. So I cannot believe that it will be rendered illegal once this enforcement thing is stepped up lah.
You know, it's sad that the government just, you know, has a mono view of, okay, only PSB is approved, right? All other standards is not recognized. You know, if they had taken a more open approach, right, by recognizing these international standards, the SNEL, ECE, no, as long as it is being certified safe, you should be able to wear it, right?
But then, like you said just now, the China helmet where the QC thing, you know what it got me thinking? But what if the helmet is so-called DOT certified but it's actually fake? But then again, they can actually fake the PSB label also.
Yeah lah. Since you are at it, right? You know, anything you give to China,
they can make anything. So I'm surprised if some guy, you know, has a printing machine, they just print out the PSB sticker, they paste on the helmet. Okay, it's approved. I mean, the PSB sticker also you can copy, right? Unless there is a way for you to track the sticker lah. That's my personal opinion lah.
Yeah, I mean, every PSB sticker has a serial number. Even that also can
copy what? Just say lah. You
just take any sticker, right, with a valid
legit number. You can copy that number and paste what. I suspect in future if they want to step up enforcement on the PSP sticker thing, they have to improve the sticker in the first place.
There's no hologram. I mean, okay lah.
It's just that when you peel it out, it will tear lah. That's all.
It will tear, yeah, and then you have a word void. Even that you can manufacture what?
You can manufacture what? Okay lah. So just to let you guys know, stiffer penalties for sellers and users of non-PSB approved helmet. So sellers will get a $1,000 fine and or 3 months jail. So it's up for 500 previously. Up for what?
I remember the 333 made a video.
Oh yeah, of them smashing your helmets, right?
Yeah, Amos made a video like, hey, you were here for what? Oh, I murder for 3 years. What are you here for? I wear non-PSB.
It's a parody lah. And for users also got fine guys. So this is what they say on paper. We are not sure whether they may be strict enforcement checks. Like for example, you're at Roblox or something, they really check the PSB sticker. We don't know.
Even if
so far they never check. No.
If I was a TP officer, right? I mean, I would
ignore.
You know, as long as you're wearing a good helmet, a good quality helmet, okay, I will let you go. But if you are wearing this cheap China helmet, right, with W's reputation, of course, definitely I will book you lah for that.
Definitely
but if you are wearing a top end premium helmet, right, definitely I will say, okay lah, go ahead, this one I do. If I was a TP officer lah.
If you are, but too bad you're not lah. Join VSC lah, bro. Okay, so the fine for users is actually $1,000 fine, and or 3 months jail lah. Yeah, up from 200 last time. So last time there's only a $200 fine. So
and then tinted visors.
Tinted visor, I think $80. I forget already.
I think last time my friend he was being fined for $70, you know. Sorry, $50. $50 for wearing a smoky, not too thin, not too dark. It's just it has a tint of a light shade of brown, you know.
Oh.
That one kena sir.
I know lah, but then the excuse is that get sunglasses or you get additional inner visor. Yeah, with the.
But the inner visors are not as dark as sunglasses, you know. No, actually, when I buy helmets, I go for those with the
inner visor. Spoil already. You see?
So I go for this, but then this. The tint of this inner visor is not as dark.
Oh.
It's not so dark, no.
Yeah, I think you can change it to a darker one if you find the aftermarket.
Maybe add on.
Or wear sunglasses or wear transition lessons like you. So in conclusion, personally we feel that the motorcycle community and the stakeholders should have been consulted first. They can always approach the associations.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
And then us bikers they can just talk to us and get our personal feedback. I mean, we are riders. We are not sure whether the lawmakers are even riders or not.
Yes. Maybe they are just being chauffeured around.
People.
If I would respect right people who come up with these laws, they are riders themselves.
Yes.
I would really respect, give salute.
So, but I think personally they would know. But I think this is just a top-down thing whereby you have to obey lah.
The typical Singapore aristocracy, bureaucracy. So we come up with this law, just follow law. In the first place, when you asked me to do this vlogcast, I was like
apprehensive
because what can I say? It's just like
you resign to your fate already lah. But then at least we give our thoughts and opinions on it lah, you know. Okay lah, and maybe they can actually review the motorcycle COE system, so unpeg it to the car and commercial vehicle COE quota.
If this is a government tax, right? The money goes back to the government. It's a government tax, it should be regulated by the government and not being let the free enterprise speculate the prices. Amount of vehicle quota for motorcycle being issued every month is only like in a mere less than 1,000.
That's why. But cars is the one that's a lot, no? Because I noticed that cars every few months or so the number plate, the suffix keep changing. That's why. So the car population definitely higher lah.
Singapore as an island with a huge population, right, should allow more motorbikes on the road. Because why? That one lot, the car parking, can fit 4 motorbikes. And 4 motorbikes can carry 8 passengers.
8 passengers, legally. Don't talk about Vietnam lah, that one different.
With more cars on the road, it translates to more congestion. Whereas a motorbike takes up lesser space on the road.
Next point, I think personally, for the helmets, they should also recognise the international standards of the helmet testing lah. Not only strictly sticking to PSB. Even if PSB also, they really must justify what makes a PSB test better than other country international standards, you know.
Since this is a government regulation, make it free.
It should be free. I mean, just let them provide the helmets, and then after that, do the testing lah. Why must pay additional cost to do the testing?
I remember the interview on Channel News Asia on news about the PSB testing of the helmet. I was like, kenapa? I mean, the helmets are really tested like that, and then the person being interviewed was like scripted.
Reading from a script. I think behind the camera, there was somebody holding a pace card. At least we are talking naturally, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
Even the bike reviews also, we talk naturally, you know. There's no script.
The interviewee was like, so safety. Are you riding motorbike or not?
She's just an intern. I'm so sorry, girl. But we have to say this lah, venting our frustrations.
Yes. we just frustrated that good quality helmets, top premium helmets are deemed illegal when they actually been through rigorous testing and even being used in motor racing. Final
point, consider other factors that may affect the environment as opposed to pointing to motorcycles as the source lah. So motorcycles aren't the only one that pollutes the environment.
heavy vehicles,
cars. And don't get me started about Malaysian vehicles. Don't get me started on that.
the number of cars on the road is more than motorcycles. Shouldn't it be the source of pollution? And then heavy vehicles on the other hand, we've seen heavy vehicles producing immense amounts of black smoke.
And not only that, deforestation.
Deforestation.
A lot of forests have been cut down.
Rapid urban development. Rapid urban development until to the point that even the wild boars have nowhere to go.
And then they are invading the urban areas. I think these factors should be taken into account also lah.
And I mean, from a government standpoint of view, right? Because we have an increasing number of population, so we have to sacrifice a little bit of this land for development, to let the citizen.
So we come to our final point. At the end of the day, we want a vibrant motorcycle culture in Singapore. Basically, some leeway lah for us to express our hobbies lah. I mean, for the bike reviews that we have done, we have seen passionate owners talking about their rides, explaining all the modifications, and to see all these bikes gone makes me sad lah actually.
Motorcycle is more than just a form of transport.
Yes.
It's also an extension of a rider's personality. Some people likes a particular brand of motorbikes. They are into it. They want to have their bike. If they are able to keep it for another 20-30 years, they would. Because it's more than just a form of transport.
I mean, if you look at Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, they have a really strong bike culture.
I tell you, I'm very envious of the bike culture in Indonesia. Imagine the Vespa, they can mod until it looks like a chopper. I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful, man.
And we can look at the opposite side of the causeway. All the Malaysians, they are riding their bikes. And the way they modify to rempit.
I mean, those are illegal modification that is really dangerous. But the fact that you can actually keep the bike
forever,
right, until the day you die, it's like,
and pass it on to your children.
I would definitely, if I want to get a class 2, a bigger bike, that would be a Malaysian bike. Not a Singapore bike. It's too expensive, and it just doesn't justify the cost. You only pay so much only for 10 years.
10 years,
And then if you want to own it again, you have to pay some more. So at least in Malaysia, once I finish up the loan, right, the installment, the bike is mine to keep. So definitely I would buy a big bike. I would definitely buy a Malaysian bike.
Some people are not that fortunate to have that kind of opportunity lah.
It's true.
So I don't know lah. For us, I personally feel that they should give us a bit of leeway, or maybe do a discussion or dialogue with the riders and seek their feedback before actually implementing the laws lah. At least get some input from us, as opposed to being a top-down kind of thing, So
I mean, even in the current corporate culture, it's bottoms up now. No
slowly
more,
very
no
slowly
more top-down approach.
Not where I work sorry.
So I say in the corporate culture. Not yours is the government.
Okay, fine. I think we have said what we need to say. If you want more opinions, you can actually go to Facebook, all of the back page, and see the comments.
For me, because I am no expert.
I'm also not expert. We are not expert. We just stating our own opinions.
But some people actually look up to us as people with as an expert.
And in fact, a few riders have been requesting us to do this video, actually, and state our opinions on what is happening out there lah, on top of the.
This is all from our opinion, from our
point of view,
not to be used as
a reference,
or a fact.
We are not lawyers. We are just riders like you guys, doing this.
Concerned riders.
I appreciate that you guys actually came to us and requested this video. I think, I mean, it's justified lah that we as bike YouTubers Oh my god, I feel so paiseh saying that.
People look to us for advice on motorbikes, you know.
Yeah. It's very honoured, but it's I'm very honoured, but at the same time I'm very embarrassed. Paiseh lah. I'm more to paiseh lah.
You are free to diss us. Okay, you're free to criticize us. But be nice lah. I mean, you want to criticize us, make it a constructive criticism.
Yalah. And that's it for the vlogcast. And we will see you next one. Okay.